Hello and welcome to a new tutorial. If we haven't met before, my name is Jackie and I'm a graphic designer who loves teaching business owners how they can create their own incredible brand and graphics. And today I have something a little bit different for you. So usually I'm just doing a solo tutorial all about Canva. But today I want to show you a bit of an insight into me actually helping a normal human running a normal business to create their own graphics. And so what I'm going to show you is a snippet from the call that I do with my students inside my course, DIY Design My Biz. We have a call every single month where they can come along to the call, share some graphics with me, and I troubleshoot and create things with them. This client, Andrea, what she has done is she's worked through the program and she's created a lovely logo and a lovely brand. However, she can't work out how to actually apply that brand to graphics to make it look good. And so what we talk about is how she can take her colors, how she can take the elements that she's thinking about using and actually create something that really works. We're looking at things like hierarchy. We're looking at things like contrasting of sizing. We're looking at things like simplifying it down to make sure that it actually suits an Instagram post rather than a flyer. And all of these little tweaks that I share with Andrea, I think are going to be so useful for any of you who are either creating graphics for your business or especially who are in that process of taking a brand that you're thinking of using, but you're not quite sure if it's perfect yet. Just a few tips to show you that actually can help you take that idea, take those elements you're thinking, take the colors that you're thinking, and actually use that in a graphic. Because I actually find that the best way to really nail down on the colors and the font and the elements of your brand is to use it in practice. And so I hope that these tips that I share with Andrea will help you as well. So let's dive in. Andrea, are you? Yes, you're here. Hi, let's have a look at yours. How you doing?
Great. Yeah. I've spent hours and hours and hours, and I think I've got myself totally bamboozled.
Oh no, why do you feel bamboozled?
I have finally decided that that's my icon, my logo is all good to go.
Yep.
I've decided on my colors.
I think this is looking
and my fonts. I'm just trying to get my elements
nice.
now.
Cool. Okay. Look at all this. I love it. I love it when there's so many pages. Like sometimes people like try to keep things really neat. I'm like, don't keep it neat. I want to see everything because that helps me to kind of see what's your brain and like the stages you're kind of going through.
So it all started off backwards. So I started off with the flowers.
Yeah.
And then I found that so many of the flowers I couldn't change the color. So then I found these flowers, but then my daughter goes, "Oh, they're too teenagerish." And I'm like, well, kind of 70s is coming back.
Oh yeah, it's so hard to keep up with things. Okay, what I want to do is do what you've been doing here, but I'm just going to make a new design because I want to have a play with some more social media shape designs because that's how my brain works best. So yeah, if you're in this stage, for anyone in this stage, exactly like you've done, is start having a play with the elements, with the colors, with the fonts as full graphics, exactly like what you're doing. And it just helps you to pull together things and see if it actually works in practice. So I'm just going to open up a new design. I'm just going to do Instagram square post. We'll keep it nice and simple. And I'm going to do similar content than what you've got in here. I think, yeah, I mean, I think we can make this work. I think it's just a matter of how we use things and maybe tweaking a couple of things. So I'm just going to grab, in case you didn't know, you can copy pages between different graphics. So I'm just selecting this page here. I'm going to open up this one and paste it in. And then now I can access all of these colors and elements right here, which is wildly helpful when needed.
So all the flowers at the top are all individual.
Yeah, cool, great.
That's me just looking around and trying to make something work, but didn't work.
No worries. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, so I think what we want to do is simplify things down a tiny bit. Like the hard thing is obviously this transition there's a reason there's two images here. Like you've got the pregnancy side and then you've got the ones they've got the bubba side. Although this looks more like a toddler.
Yeah, I know, it's trying to find a baby, it's hard.
Would be hard. So I'm just going to paste all of my main text in. Probably don't need for a social media post, at least for all of this kind of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to see, obviously, probably the more pregnancy side is probably slightly more relevant to people. I say this as someone well in this stage of
Oh,
my
sorry.
life and what's calling my attention. And I know that it's the more pregnancy related ones at the moment because I need that. So what I'm doing is I'm making her quite large,
Yeah.
and I want to make her, because what's happening with some of these graphics is that there is a lot of different things happening and pulling my attention across the screen. We've got this, and then we've got this, and this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So what I'm going to try to do is simplify things down and create some things being the hero and some things being the focal point,
Yeah.
and then making everything else either fade into the background so that they're there to kind of back things up, or not be there at all. And so I'm going to have a play with what kind of works there. And I think in that process, that will help us to mature the designs a little bit while
Yeah.
still happening to be kind of fun and playful, and obviously carry the overall vibe that you've got going on. And the midwife, maybe due in September.
Because what I'm going to do is basically this will be a template, and whenever I've got availability in a particular month, then I'll just pop the month in.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Um, what color backgrounds? Let's just, I'm assuming like that maybe. Oh, all right, so I'm just going to play with the hierarchy. So obviously the key, and then obviously this stuff here, this is relevant information because obviously your location is, people aren't going to choose you if you're 4 hours away, I'm assuming. So I'm just going to make that obvious. We probably you don't technically need this stuff if you're doing an Instagram post because there's enough places for people to contact you. So I'm just going to delete that for at least this. If you're doing a poster or something, you're welcome to have that in there, but we don't need that for this now. Obviously need to change the color of that now that I popped it onto the yellow. Okay, and now I want to add in some more of the flowers and some more of the vibes in here to create a bit more playfulness to it, but also not too much. A fine balance. So I'm trying to work out what I want to do here. A great thing to do is if you've got some elements and they're feeling like they're becoming too much of a focal point where they're like part of the design too much, usually what we can do is nudge them off the edge of the page, and that will help them to feel like they're part of the background rather than a focal point. I remember teaching this to you, Cheryl, recently. And that just makes all of the difference when you're doing this kind of stuff. So if you're finding like something's getting too much focal pointy, just like shimmy them off the edge a little bit, and then it becomes kind of part of a bordery background rather than a big part of the design. No, I'm just going to have a play for a second because I don't know how I'm going to tackle this yet. So I'm just going to have a play and then I'll let you know what I've decided to do.
God, everything you do instantly looks so much better.
It's a lot of practice, a lot of practice. But the best thing for you guys is that once you've worked this stuff out for your brand, you'll have a set of things that you just do always for your brand. You'll have a set of templates you just kind of tweak and refer to. So it's not as if you don't need to get as good at me as working these things out, because you'll have different rules you can use for your own business, which is far less overwhelming. So what I'm doing here is I'm just creating some different spaces. So I've just created a spot down here for this bottom text to sit. So it's in its own section, but I've chosen a color that's not like, I haven't chosen the bright pink, for example, although I could because the bright pink references this. So that doesn't actually work too badly, to be honest. But the reason I chose the purple is it's more subtle. So it's because I don't want to call attention to this yet. People don't need to know this information until they've decided that they're having a baby in September. So I've just prioritized this information first. But if this was a really important piece of information, I could have it on that pink box because the pink is kind of referenced over here too. I'm not happy with the spacing and I'm trying to work out what to do to fix it. Because what I want to do is I kind of want her a bit bigger, but obviously that then takes away our space that we have for our text. And so it probably means this text either needs to be smaller or we need to stack it. So I'm going to, I don't know which one I want to do. Because I really like how this is sitting. I love how I like the layout of the text. So I'm trying not to change it. But I also don't want it to be too small because I want this to really stand out. So I'm actually just going to duplicate. If I don't know, I just get the design and I make a second one. I just pressed Command D, or you can just press duplicate page, and then I try the alternative because sometimes it still looks good. So I'm just going to bring the line of text down and bring the text a bit closer together and make it nice and large. Now we've got some really great hierarchy happening. It means that when someone's scrolling their grid or their feed, they're just like, oh, I need a midwife. Yes, that's me. And so that's really standing out to them. And then we can keep this really cute layout here of the baby due in September, but just shimmy it down so it's the same kind of width as the bigger text now. And I think that's actually looking better because there's that really clear hierarchy. Sometimes we've got to be really bold with our text sizing. I call it contrast. We've got large contrast between one piece of text and the other piece of text is much smaller. And that really creates and helps a design to look more professional, and it helps a design to stand out more. I'm going to grab that. I think these are fine as is pretty much. I'm just going to make them a smidgen bigger. Grab all three of those and just bring them away from our lady a little bit. Again, bigger again. And I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. And so you'll see, I just kind of simplified things down. And really focused on that hierarchy and just made things not be their own thing. So that it just feels more compact and less overwhelming to look at. So I think what your elements that you've got here could work. We just need to continue to learn how to use them. I am wondering though.
Yeah, I don't need those. I tried to play around with them and it's like, no, they're not working for me.
Yeah, and I love that you went there though. Like I would have gone there as well. And I've actually just worked with someone else on this call, Steph, on a one-on-one capacity. And we worked out that she had this really fun and playful design for her elements, but we actually needed to create some more structure with the shapes so that it didn't become too childish. And so bringing in these kind of shapes is not only easier to design with because it's just so much easier to grab a rectangle than try to resize this to be the right shape. But it also helps to just mature the design a little bit while still having that playfulness.
So where would you put the logo on that?
I wouldn't put the logo on it for a social media post.
Okay.
If you want to, like, it's not a rule to not, but if you wanted to, I would just grab it and I would pop it either up the top here, kind of like just chilling out of the way. I'd probably make it maybe a white.
Yeah.
But that's not visible enough. So maybe the dark, maybe something like that. But again, because this is on Instagram, for example, you're like just above this is your display picture and your business name. So you technically don't need it there. But if you're putting this on a poster or a flyer or something that was separate to your business, you would absolutely want to put the logo, your website, and all of those things.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Amazing. But you definitely can have it there. There's nothing wrong to have that there. Or if this text wasn't here, I'd definitely pop it down the bottom here. It's not wrong to have it. And I sometimes have it sometimes I have it more if it was likely, if you were doing a post that might go viral where you were sharing like this, like 5 things to look out for in a midwife, then having your brand on it more strongly there can be helpful because it may get disconnected from your business, whereas this one's probably not likely to get disconnected from your business. So thank you for watching that. I hope you found it really helpful. If you are looking to join Andrea and join my program, I would love to have you. Just head to my website, DIYdesignmybiz.com, and you can join the course. It is totally open. You can join in on the monthly calls. They're on the 3rd Tuesday and Wednesday of every single month, available in all different time zones. You can purchase in any currency. And I would absolutely love to help you and help you actually go from feeling really worried and confused about your brand all the way to feeling really equipped, really empowered, and really confident of your brand and saving you so much time. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Hope to see you inside the program. Otherwise, I will see you in a few more weeks for another tutorial. Bye.